Okay. I'm going now. All right. Hi everyone, it's Ketan Makwana here from Enterprise Lab. I hope you're well and welcome to the next edition of the Leader Disruptors Show. Today I have the wonderful Ozana Giusca online today, and I'll be introducing her in very, very shortly. Today's all about being stuck and turning your business into sales success. We're going to be talking with Ozana really very much about how to create high impacts and profits from the stuff that you love doing, systems and processes, and very much so what it takes to actually produce a high impact performance business. But a little bit about Ozana, and she's going to be talking to you directly herself and introducing herself very, very shortly. But here's someone that I've had the privilege of knowing for a number of years. Unrelentless in the work that she does, not just here in the UK but across the world. We've got a webinar series that's coming up, which I'm sure Ozana will talk to you about as well. But a lot of experience, worked with hundreds of businesses to help them maximize their profits, increase their sales turnover revenues, but bring in the right kind of source and processes. She's the founder of Knowledge to Millions, amongst other systems and stuff that she's bought. A best-selling author as well, with a fantastic book. So if you haven't already sort of checked it out, make sure you go and check that out as well. But Ozana, good morning and welcome. How are you?
Hello, I was stuck myself, Ketan, because I was trying to share your thingy on my different profiles on Facebook. So we unstuck the business, but we get stuck with technology from time to time.
Absolutely, absolutely. So how are things? How are you?
Well, I just came back to London after a 2-day event, power class on how to package and unpackage your knowledge into making loads of millions and serving loads of clients. And that was the event that I ran just over the last 2 days.
Fantastic, fantastic. So
how are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good. It's one of the first times that we're doing the show at this early. Yesterday I did one really late, so I had someone from Australia on at 9 o'clock in the evening, and today you're fresh and vibrant for a 10 sort of 15 start. So I'm doing really, really good. I'm really ready to go. I'm glad. You know, most people say thank God it's Friday. I'm like let's throw Friday out with a bang, basically. So. I'm really, really good. So it would be great for you to tell our audiences a little bit about yourself. So who is Ozana Giusca and how did you get to where you are today?
Ozana Giusca is someone who loves life, and because I love life, I experienced loads of things, and some of the things that I've experienced were not very successful. In fact, loads of them were not very successful, but I've learned a lot from those mistakes and different things that I thought were going to work and they didn't work. And now I feel stronger than ever and kicking asses.
Kicking asses.
So, yeah, I think if you ask me in a nutshell, I am the catalyst for accelerated profits for entrepreneurs and small business owners. And that's been my passion. That's my mission, to empower 1 million entrepreneurs to live a free life by doing what they love and by also making a big impact in this world. Because I believe that you and I and then our clients and people that we surround ourselves with, we can all make a small difference in this world, and together we make a big difference.
Love it, absolutely love it. So, so tell me more about what got you into. I mean, obviously, you were employed at one point, and you went through industry, and then you sort of came out. What was the sort of turning point for you to say, right, that's it? I want to focus on adding value and helping people produce the impacts that they can do with with their businesses or whatever it is that they want to do. Tell us more about when did that turning point happen, and what was what is it that you did that that got you over to become the Ozana Giusca that everyone knows today?
I thought that turning point was in 2003 when I set up my consulting company. And I have to be honest, motivated by money for a long time, and I thought money was the ultimate thing to have in life. But now I'm ashamed to recognize that I was wrong in believing that. And it's only recently that I realized that my turning point was long time ago. I just didn't know about it. And if you think about it, I'm lucky because I grew up in a family that offered me anything I wanted. I was born and raised in Romania during Ceausescu era, so as the society didn't have a lot of the things we had, I was privileged because my father managed to get us ham and cheese and butter and jeans and foreign clothes, just because he was an entrepreneurial guy and he managed to trade different things. And most people at that time were saying, "Oh, how lucky you are, Ozana, you don't have to work for the rest of your life because your father is doing so well." And guess what? Right after I finished my university, my father offered me a job in his company. He had tried loads of things, like over 10 different industries, and finally he set up his company based on his passion. And his passion was to fish. He was a champion for fishing and hunting, and that's how he ended up having the most successful company selling fishing rods in Romania. Half of the market was served by him and his partner. And he employed me as a marketing director, just fresh out of university. No, actually during university. And no, don't ask me what marketing was, because at the time I thought, well, if you have a product, you just put it out there and people buy. So I was the marketing director of a company whose products I didn't know, and I didn't understand my job because I didn't believe in marketing, because I was just not used to things like this. And even though everybody was like, "Hey, hello, Ozana," treating me with respect because I was the daughter of Ozana Giusca, the boss, the owner of the company, it didn't feel right. I had the biggest salary you could imagine for a marketing director position, because my father wanted to give me a salary as an incentive for me to be there. And besides that, he doubled my salary from his own money.
Wow.
Just because he wanted me to take over and carry on with his empire. And how long do you think that I lasted in that job?
I don't know, but I wish I had someone like your dad, having one of the highest paid marketing director jobs and then doubled my salary. I would be very, very happy. How long did you last?
Well, I thought that was happy, and everybody around me was like, "Oh yeah, you're lucky." But I didn't last 3 months.
Wow.
And when I quit, when I resigned, I didn't resign my job as such. I resigned to be my father's daughter. So that was the turning moment for me when I said, no, I want to build something myself.
Amazing.
Because I believe everybody has a mission on this planet. And I believe you're born to do one thing and one thing alone that will change other people's lives.
Yeah.
And I was definitely not born to be running my father's business and living in my father's shade. I wanted to be Ozana, and I am Ozana now. And my father is proud of being my father, which is completely the opposite to what he wanted for me initially, to be his daughter and to benefit from his position.
That's fantastic. I mean, that's amazing. Because normally when we have when we hear stories about entrepreneurs and the success routes, it's always that they've come from hard upbringings, or they've had controversy and stuff like this in their life. I hope I'm not making you too upset. Sorry.
It's just a recent thing. I only realized this over the past month, so that's why I'm still very, very emotional about this, my own breakthrough and my own realization.
Yeah.
But that triggered me being bankrupt twice, because I went my own journey.
Yes.
And I didn't want to rely on my father or on anybody else to help me.
Yeah.
My life was like a roller coaster because I had to discover things myself. I had to build things myself. I had to get on with things and learn and develop and try and miss things and So, but that's what makes you grow.
That's powerful. Do you know what? I'm sending you a virtual tissue right now, a virtual hanky right over the lines for you. But I just wanted to. We're going to come to that part in a second about the roller coaster, about the highs and lows. But it's interesting the context of someone like you coming on today, who, as I say, most people, or the stories that we hear of, are people that have come from having nothing. You actually were the other way around. You, as a child, and growing up, your father was providing you, your family were providing you a lot of different things. It's almost you got to the stage, and I think we touched base on this with Perinda yesterday when we were talking about not being happy in the stuff that you're doing. You got to a stage where you said, I want to stand on my own 2 feet and be representative for what I want to do. And it wasn't, and I love the fact that you've almost, the way you've just framed it, and you said that I resigned, so I resigned from the company so I could have my father rather than my boss or my colleague or whatever it is within business. But you've made this decision, you've resigned, you start on your way. It's a brave new world, it's all exciting, it's all enthralling, it's also sometimes and challenging, and nerve-wracking. Just take us through very quickly the experience that you had with your first sort of business or opportunity.
After that, I tried loads of things. So I went to China and I bought clothes because I like to wear nice clothes. I went to Italy and I brought even nicer clothes. And then I went to Germany to buy cars because I like to drive nice cars.
You're buying cars.
Yes, because in Romania you wouldn't have those things. So every time I had a need, I went to satisfy my need, and at the same time to satisfy others people's needs by bringing the same type of goods into Romania.
No.
And I sold loads of different things over time, like even biscuits and skis and used different things. And what I realized is that at some point I was very successful with all these things, and at some point I would stop. And I was like, my father's wife kept telling me, like, whenever you're comfortable in life, you really shake the boat and you get out of that comfortable life and you leave that comfortable life on the side and you do start something else. And I realized that the reason why I wanted that was because I wanted to grow. And whenever I stopped, I reached a plateau not in terms of making money, but in terms of growing. And whenever I stopped something, I went into big shit because I tried something else new, which I was not comfortable with and I didn't know about it, and I failed. But that's how I grew, and that's how I became the person I am today. And the biggest failure was actually the most recent one.
All right.
So in 2008, I had a successful consulting company, which I would have not quit. But with the crisis, with the banks not funding our projects, I had to downsize the company. And that's when my biggest roller coaster ever started. Because I find myself going to my father to take food, which is something that I'm totally not proud of. And not being able to be employed because I'm just so all over the place, and wanting to do something but having no idea what to do. So that's really what kicked me out of my comfort zone, and I had to search. It's 3 years of searching and trying and making lots of mistakes, and eventually 2 years came up, and now it's stronger than ever, and now I feel stronger than ever and ready to go explode my business. But I wouldn't have had this knowledge if I didn't try and if I didn't fail.
I mean, you're absolutely right here, and I think I just want to kind of go back to that bit where you were talking about what your mother said about comfort zones and rocking the boat in per se. I think it's fair to say that everyone at some point wants to sort of bathe in comfort zones. They want it to be easy. They want it to be, the leads to come in and business to flow, and it's the kind of thing they see that happens in movies, for example. All of a sudden, overnight successes, as such, and we can almost be prone to become very complacent. Back then, oh yeah, it's okay, it happens, it works, and we take things for granted to a certain extent. I mean, having you go through the crisis. I think that the financial crisis in 2008, 2009 kind of impacted lots of people in so many different ways. I was a victim of redundancy. I lost my job. And that was the turning point for me, in the sense that I had my back against the wall. I had no other option but to go self-employed. I didn't really know what I was doing, but I thought to myself, I either stand in the queue waiting for a job, or I go off and try something else, basically. And it's a daunting experience, but and I suppose this kind of feeds into your knowledge to millions stuff, and we're going to talk a little bit about the stuff that you do very, very shortly. But like you just said, you're able to take your life experiences within your own businesses, the hardships, the greatness, the fluidity and the flexibility and the freedom of what you've been able to do when you were running these different businesses, traveling to different parts of the world, procuring different products and services, and being able to sort of monetize these things. How has it made you more resilient today in terms of what you have with Tulias and with everything that you're doing today? You've now been able to take all that kind of experience, and we're going through shaky grounds at the moment as an economy ourselves. With Brexit looming, for example, the transition of Brexit with what's going on in the US. There is talk that there is a recession on its way again into the UK. How are you as a business, and as an entrepreneur, how are you prepared in the mind, ready to accept that something not as hard as 2008, but something very similar to 2008, 2009 could be coming to Europe or to the UK? How are you as a business ready to face that?
Well, I believe that whichever recession, whichever changes, whichever Brexit or elections in different countries or whatever it is, they are going to be part of our regular life. Mm-hmm. At the moment, we are living in a world of uncertainty, and uncertainty is just a given thing for us. We are not going to have easy life and easy economy from now on. It's always going to be like this. There will always be changes. If it's a terrorist attack, if it's the US elections, if it's whatever it is, there will be events shaking the environment, shaking the world, shaking the economy, as of now, on a not daily basis, but regular basis. So we just have to accept that's the world that we live in, and there is nothing we can do. So all we can do is just look for solutions within ourselves. Wonderful. Because the solutions are within ourselves. And it's very easy to blame it on the economy or on the government or on whatever else. But the matter of fact is that all the challenges that we're facing have solutions that come from ourselves. That's what I totally believe, and I realized over the past whatever years.
I mean, that's
nobody will help you.
And I think that's amazing stuff, and it's absolute dynamite that you say this, because it was interesting. I'm currently tendering a project at the moment with Mexico, and one of the things that is Richard Branson's out there at the moment, or has been. He was there last week, talking to the Mexican economy, basically about the fact that with Trump coming into power, they're going to have some major issues economically within Mexico. And he's talked about the strength of entrepreneurship to be the savior. It's now down to us to come up with solutions to overcome these objections and challenges. And I suppose what I'm trying to get to back here is you embarked in a journey yourself when you decided to leave your family business and start up on your own, not really knowing what was presented in front of you, but just having this this desire to have things like freedom, flexibility, independence, and growth. You've naturally gone through highs and you've gone through some terrible lows as well. Talking about bankruptcy is a painful thing, but you've learned from them and you've come through today. Now, the work that you do, and because I know you, and I've seen firsthand the work that you do with your clients and people that I want to build through. I just want you to share a little bit with the audiences about what it is that and why is it so important that entrepreneurs are developed forward today to come up with these new solutions to help the economy sort of stabilize and stuff like that. So what is your sort of take on this, on why you do what you do?
There is no alternative for entrepreneurs. The economy is changing super fast. Business requires much more understanding and skills than ever before. And as an entrepreneur, you have no choice other than just embarking on a self-development, self-growth, self-discovery, self-evolution yourself, because otherwise you will just be left behind and you won't have any business. There is no alternative. And just the fact that you're listening to this show shows that you are committed to investing in yourself and to evolve.
Nice spin.
Right?
Nice spin. So tell me more. Let's go from the doom and gloom of bankruptcies and Brexits and Donald Trumps to really focusing on what you've been working on. So tell me more about the stuff that you do with your clients and people that get connected to you.
Well, our clients are from people who have a one-man show business and starting up, all the way to people who have hundreds of employees. And my skill set or my pinpoint strength is really to identify the fastest way to get to the biggest profits for any of our clients. Obviously, if it's someone at the very beginning, just 1-2 people, a very small team, they usually want me to help them get more and better clients. If it's a more established business, they want me to show them different other strategies and avenues to grow, because usually they get stuck and they can't break through whatever level that they've reached. Okay. So it's different for different people.
Okay, so let's look at this a little bit more deeply, because I love the way that you've kind of you've kind of channeled it out. And just before I go into this, guys, whoever's out there listening, I know that Bali's in there saying that she's been listening for an hour and she's loving it, and it's nice to see Carmen's online. Aslam, it's nice to see you as well. Duke Sayre, it's good to see you as well. Guys, if you've got any questions for Ozana, please post them, because I can ask Ozana. She's we're going to be here for at least another sort of 25 minutes or so. So I'm really happy to take on questions. I'm sure Ozana's very, very happy to take your questions as well. So make sure you just put them into the timeline, and then I'll read them out to Ozana. Just coming back to what you've done, you said that obviously depending on the type of client you're working with, whether they're a newbie to entrepreneurship, they're just an early stage startup, right the way through to people that have hundreds of employees, their needs are different. You mentioned here getting better clients. You talked about profits and you talked about growth. Okay, what do you mean by getting better clients? Because I think sometimes it's easy for an early stage entrepreneur just to say, I need clients. That's all I need. I need clients, and clients give me money, and then money allows me to survive. But you actually have a completely different spin on this. You're talking about getting better clients. What does that mean?
Well, let's say earlier people, the less mature businesses, they want clients because they just are very, very stressed with the sales, and any client will do. But once they get to the point where they're completely busy and they are still not making the money they want, they realize that the clients that they are serving are not the right clients, and they need better clients. Now, what better clients mean? For some people mean that they simply enjoy working with them. For some people, it means that it only takes very little time to acquire those people. For some people, it means that they pay on time, they don't argue on price, they don't negotiate, they just get on with things. and for some, obviously, it means that they generate higher margins for that particular business.
I love that.
So when I felt myself, that I needed better clients, and I actually fired half of my clients with my consulting company long ago.
Hold on. Let me just repeat that so people got that. You fired your clients, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I just want to go on point that you fired that client. Go for it. Yeah.
It takes guts to say, okay, I don't want to work with you anymore. But when you realize that you have some nightmare clients which take a lot of your time and they're never happy and they always expect more for the money they get,
yes,
you're much better off getting rid of those clients, because you then get much more time that you can invest in getting more of the good clients. So even though it sounds like it's a step backwards, it actually is a huge step forward.
Yeah.
To just focus on the ideal clients.
I really like the analogies that you're bringing in here, and we've got a couple of questions I'm going to give to you in a second. But what you're actually talking about is reducing your funnel down this way, where actually what you do is you're weaning and threading through better clients, better payers, more sort of suited and aligned to the services or products that you offer. They get better value out of the proposition. There's a better relationship, and what you're doing is you're fostering a much more robust or stronger foundation to be lifting off from. And I suppose the message that we're pulling out from here is that the power of no is just as powerful as the power of yes. And that, when we're at an early stage in our businesses, it's quite often that we are lured onto the fact of saying we need to get as many clients as possible. But is there some truth in the fact that sometimes you could get the wrong client and that could almost cripple you to a certain extent, where you're spending an inordinate amount of time serving them and not actually getting the net returns that you should?
Absolutely. Actually, there is a study which shows that when you do the targeting direct without changing anything else whatsoever in your business, your profits increase by 40 to 50%.
40 to 50%.
40 to 50% have been the increases of companies which have been part of this study, by only changing the targeting. Actually, not changing, but by narrowing down the targeting, and by knowing the exact ideal client and just going for those ideal clients. And the reason why that happens is because when you deal with your ideal client, your value proposition is a complete match. It just makes perfect sense for that particular client to work with you, because the solution is the ideal thing that they are looking for. And when that happens, obviously, they are prepared to pay the correct price, and they really appreciate your work or the product or service that they buy. So that's happening. Yeah. The match between the needs of the client and the solution. And the other thing is, because of this perfect match, clients are happy and they recommend you to others. So they refer business to you, which comes to you with no cost whatsoever. So you just increase your sales with no marketing and selling expenses whatsoever. So
actually, in theory, what you've just been talking about here is, whilst customers or consumers have choice in terms of who they work with, businesses and entrepreneurs and business owners should also be, especially in the early stages, should be quite selective of who they work with as well, to ingrain and stitch that better value, and it's a better client relationship. But what you're actually doing is, ultimately, through that, you're not building customers, you're building fans, because they become more of your advocates who are actually organically growing your business as well. I think that's absolutely powerful. That's amazing. Let me take these questions. We've got a couple here. I've got one from Alexa Alexandra. Thanks for tuning in. She has asked a question, obviously for you. How do you deal with the bureaucracy when starting a business in Romania? So this one's for the Romanian ones out there. But everyone else that's not from Romania, I want you to listen in on this, because it's so different in different countries. If you are thinking about internationalizing your company, just listen to this.
yes, I have to admit that the bureaucracy in Romania, it's still a pain in the bum. And it does require some time as a business owner to, first of all, understand what it is, and secondly, to deal with it. Now, at the moment, I don't have to deal with it anymore because there is someone employed by my company in Romania who's dealing with this shit, if I can call it like this.
Yeah.
But early stage, I had to understand it. So first of all, without understanding what it is, it's quite hard to deal with it. And then as soon as I understood, I got somebody else to deal with it. So really, even early stage, even when I was not very well established and it was hard for me to pay money, I did pay money to someone to deal with it. Because otherwise, I would spend my own time on producing papers rather than focusing on what really matters for my business and investing in growing the business. So this is really an activity that you must outsource day two. And I say day two and I don't say day one, is because day one you have to understand it yourself. And once you understand, just get rid of it. Give it to somebody else, and the person will do a better job than you can. That's been the case for me, because you can't be everywhere at the same time. So rather than trying to cover all those paperwork and filing and lots of folders in the office and knowing every bit where it is, I just don't deal with that anymore at all. And because I don't deal with it and somebody is responsible for that thing, that person can deal with it much better than me. I can focus on the business and really doing the activities makes sense for us. Does it answer your question?
Yeah, it does. But we had a slight interference in between that, so I'm just going to recapture some of the things there. Actually, the only of what Ozana was talking about here is that there are, and this is kind of generalized in a lot of different countries, that there are going to be different laws, different rules, different processes, and different bureaucracy when it comes to starting a business or getting through in growing a business. Ultimately, what Ozana was saying here is that it's better, it's wiser, and it's more intuitive to actually get that outsourced to an expert who understands it, and they can drive that, because you could become knee or elbow or even neck deep in all that bureaucracy, which is then taking you away from your business. The reason I kind of said earlier about making sure that you guys listen into this is, 2 years ago, I actually set up office in Romania myself, and it took, the process was very, very long to get started. The business didn't work out the way it needed to, and I needed to bring back and re-centralize my operation. But it took so long to actually even break that part of it down, and I couldn't afford to be spending, months in Romania just trying to sort this out. So it was very important to find experts who understand the processes and actually outsource out to them. So Alexia said it's a useful answer, and she's really appreciative of what you've said there, so thank you.
Just to add one more thing, that at the moment there are people emerging in Romania and calling themselves VA, virtual assistant, who understand the bureaucracy, and they love dealing with that shit. So you can subcontract whatever it is to those kind of people, because they'll deal with it quicker than you anyway, because that's what they do.
So in essence, there is resources out there, a lot more now.
I think we're breaking up.
I think a little bit we are. It's the World Wide Web and the internet is killing me at the moment. So essentially what you're saying here is compared to a couple of years ago, there is a lot more fluid and effective services available, where people are actually waiting to take you on, to help you get all this kind of bureaucracy and stuff sorted out. Did you get any of that, or are we stuck? Are you there?
That's right, exactly.
Yeah.
And I am. I see you moving or fading away.
You see me fading away.
And actually, a very particular client of ours who does exactly this, and I guess she was. Elena, if you are watching this, just type in so people know and they can contact you. you for outsourcing. I think you're there, and even if you're watching afterwards, I know that you're following me, and I know that you're eventually going to see this. So just comment and say, hey, I'm the one with the outsourcing, the VA services, so just get in touch with me.
Perfect. And look, if in any case, you can always get those links onto the live
There is a
posting
VA.
a bit later on. Where are we? So I've got another question for you. I have another question. I'm just going to get it back from Bali Nivas here. Okay, Bali is asking, how do you break out negative consistency, which includes on I'll do it, but never comes if it does, it's very slow progress. So let me just repeat that question again. How do you break out of negative consistency? What do you have to do? This whole sort of permutation, you're trying certain things and nothing's coming of it. So I'm assuming Bali's obviously working on some stuff, and I guess she's not getting the results that she desires. What's your sort of advice for people to break their negative consistency?
I think there are two issues here. One is that there are always people telling you off. There are always people who are not successful and they don't believe anybody can be. Because they're not successful, then they don't believe you can be successful. Therefore, they will say, oh, just hang on, go get a job or do whatever and forget about this big dream.
Yeah.
So will these people just ignore them and eventually delete their numbers from your diary?
Delete their numbers. I love that. Because there is a disruptor in the making there. Look. Ozana's the pure disruptor.
Well, I didn't delete their numbers because I wanted to know if they were calling. But I chose not to meet those people anymore because they can bring negative energy and they can just slow you down, and they can confuse you. So just don't meet with them, don't listen to them.
Yeah.
And then it's the voice in yourself who says, oh, you're not good enough, you failed, you've tried this and it didn't work and whatever. So I've had that voice for many years, and in fact one of the voices, or one of the reasons why I had that voice, was actually my father, who said me over different periods of time that I'm not good enough, and if I was good I would have already made loads of money and I would have already achieved much more than I had at different stages in my life.
Yeah.
So and it's also the self-doubt, like, oh, okay, who am I to deal with this? And I was born in Romania, and now I have companies and clients around the globe. And I was thinking, like, who am I to build such a big business internationally? Because I grew up in Romania and I can speak Romanian, but my English is not at the level of the English natives, and I just don't have the right knowledge and stuff like that. So there were always voices in my head like trying to stop me.
Yeah.
But the point is that those things can be easily eliminated when you know you have a vision, when you know you want to do something, when you know you want to achieve something, and you believe in what you do. So all I'm saying is just keep going and don't give up, because nobody, none of the successful people, and Ketan can agree with this himself, I guess, has had an easy ride. Entrepreneurship is not easy. You don't become an entrepreneur just to have an easy life. You become an entrepreneur because you want to create value, because you want to change the world in your own industry, in your own sector, because you want to help people around you. And that should always stay in your head, and really just keep going until you make it, because everybody, all the successful people have been stuck and have had different moments when they were like, oh, what am I doing? Am I doing the right thing? I better back off. And they didn't. That's actually what makes the difference between the successful people and those that are just doing okay or not at all. The fact that they never stop and they carry on.
That's fantastic.
I remember I struggled with school years for 3 years. And even though I tried Google ads, Facebook ads, I had a website, I did SEO, I had a consultant, I had mentors, I did loads of training. I invested a lot in getting 2 years off the ground. And for 3 years, we didn't sell anything.
Right.
And I had loads of people asking me, so how long are you going for? Ozana, just why don't you just get a job and do something and get some money? And my answer was like, no, I will never stop. I know I will succeed, and I will do whatever it takes. Even if I have to do it by myself, living in my father's place or doing it in the garage and going backwards in terms of lifestyle, I will not stop. And it pays off.
I think that's a really valuable stuff there. I mean, and you're absolutely right. You know, when you go into entrepreneurship, it is about the value stuff. But negativity, in the sense of, I love the pure bit that you just turn and say that, you know, okay, you've got to cut the noise out. Just take their numbers out of your phone. I mean, just that real simplicity of, you know, just make that kind of change. I've had other people talking about never mute your brilliance, you know, in the sense of never sort of, you know, everything around you is kind of a lot of noise, and people will always put doubt into your mind. And I think the negative consistency piece that Bali talks about, I think you hit the nail on the head. Most people that are negative to you are those that perhaps envy what you have, and also envy the fact that they can't do what you're doing or achieving what you're achieving. So Bali, I hope that really kind of answers your question in regards to negative consistency. So I'm going to sort of kind of move on into what's happening with. Can
I add one more thing?
Absolutely.
Now I do a lot of events, and I have hundreds of entrepreneurs coming to my events in big or small events, and I remember that the most important events I've had, that was one event last year where I brought different speakers from outside Romania into Romania for just one-day presentations on different topics about business. And one of my most recent master classes, where again I had 350 people in the room, and there is this guy who stands up at the end and says, not giving any value, she's just focused on getting money from clients, and she doesn't care about her client. And that guy was sent by as my competitor. I don't see him as a competitor, because I believe we are at completely different levels.
Yes.
Person in Romania who's been doing this for a year, and who sees me as a threat. So every time I have the chance, he sends people to my events to try to destabilize me and get people to not trust me, not believe me. But the matter of fact is that these people are actually helping me. They are helping me because the real Ozana comes out, and the real value that I give to my clients comes out as well. Because there are always people who have been through my different programs, have been using different tools that we provide, and they always jump and say, no, I've got great value from Ozana, so you just shut up. And those people, once they try once, they never try again. So you will get such people all the time. But as long as you know you're doing good and you're giving good value to your clients, that's all that matters.
I mean, that's right. I think I know who you're talking about when you talk about that instance. But here in itself is a great example of the fact that you can actually turn negative into opportunity. You know, and the fact that, you know, you didn't have to sort of go out of your way and try and combat it. Really, you kind of almost read that through, and you let your audiences answer the question for you. So obviously, when you focus on what you're doing, and you put all your energy into what you're doing and believe that what you're doing is right, there's always going to be someone out there that feels that impact. It doesn't have to be hundreds of people, even if it's just one. I think, you know, to start with, that's more than there was before. So I really commend you on that, and it can be tough, especially in that kind of environment. Imagine you've invested so much time and energy and money to be there and get all these people in the room. You've gone for a full day, and then all of a sudden you've got someone who's, you know, purposely picked someone into the room to spread some sort of disease, in that respect. And you know, it can be quite heartbreaking. But this is what I mean when it comes to resilience. You know, I think your past has really, you know, and your experiences really helped you become the resilient entrepreneur that you are today. So, Ozana, what's happening? What's happening in the next couple of weeks? What's happening in the next couple of months? What's the future for Ozana Giusca? Where can people connect with you and say, do you know what, here is someone that I believe can help me get out of this the rut that I'm in and really help me improve my client base, my profitability and my success? How can people get hold of you?
Well, they can clearly contact me on Facebook or on my website, which is my name, ozanagiusca.com. And there are two events which I would like to mention. One is the one that we're doing together.
Yeah, we are.
And we are going to do a series of webinars, 7 webinars on transition from spirit to success. So in order to be successful, you need to understand what success means to you and where you're going. You need to understand how to make sales, how to create systems, how to scale your business, how to design your story. Actually, with the stories, there are two things. One is the negative stories that are holding you back, and the other one is the story that is behind you and around you, around your brand, around what you do. So you need that as well. And so that's why we've designed this series of 7 webinars with Ketan. It's going to be every 2 weeks. Starting when? I can't remember when we are starting.
We start in 5 days' time. 30th of November is the first webinar.
5 days.
In 5 days. So I'm going to be putting the link in later on to get onto the webinar series. And as Ozana is saying, I mean, the webinar it's a series that's been built over, so it allows you to sort of take on the information and keep moving forward. What are the other things that you're doing?
Free.
Yeah,
it's free to join, so make sure that you join and come in live, because if you don't join and you will discover later on that it's really super valuable for you and you will want to have access to the whole series, then you'll have to pay for it.
See, so you know, we're going to get this on live. We're going to be on from the 30th of November to start with that. So we've got the webinar series. We've got ozanagiusca.com. What else is going on in your, you know, you've got this other program and platforms like Knowledge to Millions. What's happening in these arenas? How else can people sort of connect in with you? Have you got any other events outside of the webinars coming up in the next couple of weeks?
Yeah, the Knowledge into Millions is really where my heart is at the moment, because this is me sharing the system that we've developed for ourselves, and this is the system that enables us to sell successfully across the globe. This is the system that enables me to go spend holidays and live anywhere in the world, here and there, and do stuff, because it's all about packaging my knowledge in different ways and different products, different services, and giving it in different bits and pieces to whoever needs one bit or other bit. So it's really, we kept this system secret for ourselves for quite a bit, and it's only recently that we've decided to share it and give it to other entrepreneurs, because we are about empowering 1 million entrepreneurs live a freedom life and do what they love and make a bigger impact in this world. So now I'm not holding it for me anymore. I'm just giving it to you guys. And this is a 2-day event, full day event, where I take you through the 5 subsystems of this, so that you take the customer from I don't know you, I don't care about you, I don't even want to know about you, to I want to buy from you, and I only want to buy from you. So that's the system that you will get when you decide to join Knowledge into Millions.
Amazing, 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 amazing. So we will we'll be putting all the links onto this live feed. Make sure, if you're not already following or connected to Ozana, go off and do this. She is a fantastic, amazing woman. She's doing amazing things, She's got a heart of platinum, not even gold. It's just amazing, you know, how she's, I mean, for crying out loud, I've made her almost cry at the beginning of this interview. But you know, here is someone that is doing this for the sheer passion and interest to help others succeed in what they want to do. You know, and it's really about taking Ozana's life experiences from the roller coasters of everything that we've done to actually going out there, focusing on getting the right type of clients that will allow you to maximize the profits, which help you grow. Ozana, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on today. I really appreciate you taking the time. So on behalf of Enterprise Lab and the League of Disruptors show, thank you very much for coming on, and I look forward to being on the webinar with you in 5 days' time.
Cool. Thank you as well, Ketan. I really enjoyed talking to you and sharing a little bit of my journey of also the strategies that lead to success in business today. And love you guys all. Thank you for being part of this, because without you, we wouldn't be doing what we're doing.
Absolutely.
So I'm grateful for anyone who's with us, and especially the ones who have commented and interacted with us.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Ketan, for organizing it.
You're very welcome.
You're doing an amazing job as well.
No problem. Thank you very much. So okay guys, so we're finishing the show here at this moment in time. If you are a business or an expert and you feel like you're interested in coming onto the show, it's quite easy. Go to enterpriselab.co.uk/LOD. I'll put the link in earlier. All you've got to do is fill out a registration form, and we could get you scheduled to come onto the show itself. I will be back later on this afternoon at 4 o'clock when I've got the wonderful Amanda Watts, who will be coming in and talking about corporate escapes. So for now, thank you. And